Break the board sports. It's your boy RJ Cash Cole. Click that like, hit subscribe. Here we go. Future bets. We got the NFL schedule coming out. We're in the middle of the NBA and NHL playoffs. Baseball's rolling. WNBA just came around, which is a big opportunity. A lot of people don't look at the WNBA enough. Lots of good basketball there and a good opportunity. Again, click that like, hit subscribe. If you want plays, become a member here on YouTube. Entry level capper, 1 play a day. Make money 2 or more plays a day, sometimes up to 5. Now, let's start getting into some of the futures. Let's shift to the NBA right now as to where to win the Eastern Conference, you got the New York Knicks minus $1.65, but the Pistons plus 220, the Cleveland Cavaliers 7-1. And what's interesting is the Pistons really had the better handle on the New York Knicks all year long. So if you look at that, the Knicks plus 220, kind of a lot of value there with the 1 seed. If you look over to win the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder minus 290, Spurs plus 260. You got to go to the T-Wolves 40-1 there to make a difference. Now, one thing I did do just to kind of was playing around this morning while I was thinking about recording this show is now they're starting to put out the NFL schedule comes out on Thursday. They're starting to do the futures markets to make the playoffs or to miss the playoffs. And these are always good because FanDuel, DraftKings, they'll let you parlay them and you can get some pretty cool stuff going on. So I just wanted to share a couple of those, go over a couple of those. Again, future bets are a good way to take a quarter unit play and just play on a long shot so that you got something kind of playing live and you just hope you can hedge off of it. Now, a lot of time these future bets, you don't want to tie up multiple units because they take so long to cash. Like if you're talking about putting NFL season win totals or to miss or make playoffs, you put any of that stuff in there, you're waiting all the way to January to cash these tickets, but nevertheless got some good stuff. So I try to find, yes, it's more legs of the parlay, but much more realistic things. And so I wanted to share them with you. I was playing around with this and I have a 10-leg parlay. Now it's 80-1, 80-1. But I want you to listen to this, mark it down. You got the Buffalo Bills to make the playoffs. Can't see that not happening. A lot of people might disagree with this, but the Kansas City Chiefs to make the playoffs list. The Chiefs just got better. They had a fluky year. Pat Mahomes is going to be back in the fold. The Chiefs, as bad as they were, I don't see that replicating itself. So you got Bills and Chiefs both to make the playoffs. You got the LA Rams to make the playoffs. Again, that one I feel pretty confident about. The Detroit Lions. Remember I say this about the Lions. And just talking about the Lions, I want to go over and just say Lions to win the Super Bowl right now is 17-1. And here's why this is so important. During the season last year, remember the Lions lost both their coordinators. Aaron Glenn got the head coaching job with the New York Jets. And then Ben Johnson went to the Bears, did wonderful things there. But I said, this Lions team, they were so good the year before, missed their shot in the NFC championship game against the Niners. I said, this team reminds me a ton, or not championship game, divisional, reminds me a ton of the Philadelphia Eagles. Remember the Eagles lost both of their coordinators. Their Steichen went to the Colts. Gannon went to the Cardinals. The Eagles had a year where they were right there, made the playoffs, but wasn't any. Then they turned right around the following year and win the Super Bowl. I think this Lions team mirrors that team a lot. So I think Lions 17-1 is a huge. To me, I think it's Lions Rams over there. Now, obviously, Stafford and Goss health mean a ton into that. And I really feel like those are the two front runners. So we got the Bills, the Chiefs, the Rams, and the Lions to make the playoffs. One more team to make the playoffs, the Chicago Bears. Listen, I just love what they do, and they got better. They got better on the defensive side of the ball. They got Caleb Williams, some more weapons. I think second year in Ben Johnson's system, the Bears to make the playoffs. So I feel good about all those. Then I got 2 teams to miss the playoffs. And let's be real, neither one of these teams are making it. The Browns and the Titans. Neither one of those teams are making the playoffs. Titans, you may see them get better. Browns, that's going to be a dumpster fire. It has been forever. Every once in a while, they have one good year. But Browns and Titans miss the playoffs. So we got that set. Now the last 3 legs of this. The New York Knicks to win the Eastern Conference and the Oklahoma City Thunder to win the NBA Finals, right? So Thunder look like the best team head and shoulders above everybody else. the Knicks playing really good basketball, but I want to hold the Knicks right there. And then we got the Colorado Avalanche to win the Stanley Cup. Listen, I understand how good Carolina's playing. I do think the Montreal Canadiens are very tricky. But when I look at this Avalanche team, they've been the best team all year long. I think in a 7-game series, I just think they're not unbeatable, but they're the closest thing out there to being unbeatable in a 7-game series. So that right there, that 10-legger is 80-1. Now, what if we took the Knicks out to win the East and put the Pistons? Now you go up to 150-1 odds there. So again, 150-1. Avalanche to win the Stanley Cup, Pistons to win the East, Thunder to win the title, Titans and Browns need them to miss the playoffs, Bills, Chiefs, Rams, Lions, Bears all to make the playoffs. So again, just a fun little 10-legger there to look at. Now, when we talk about the NBA Finals, Knicks versus Thunder plus 110 right now, Pistons versus Thunder 3.5-1. I personally like Knicks and Spurs. I still think the Spurs pose a huge matchup problem for the Thunder, but the Spurs got their hands full right now with the Minnesota Timberwolves. But you could go Knicks Spurs 5-1. If you want to get really, really crazy, you could go Knicks T-Wolves. That is 60-1. But I don't see the T-Wolves getting past the Thunder in a 7-game series. Now, to win the Stanley Cup, the Avalanche are just $1.75. So you might take and say, okay, what about the Avalanche then to win just the Western Conference, which I think is a good bet. That's minus $1.65. So you could take them there to win minus $1.65. That still leaves you 86-1. Pistons to win the East, Thunder to win the title, Avalanche to win their conference, Titans, Browns miss playoffs, Bears, Lions, Rams, Chiefs, Bills all to make the playoffs. Now, WNBA, obviously the Liberty 2.5-1, the Vegas Aces 4.5-1, the Indiana Fever here 5.5-1, and I love the Fever if Caitlin Clark can stay healthy. Again, that's always the big thing. Can she stay healthy? The other big thing is they have to be able to withstand to get by teams in their own division, right? So that's really going to be the biggest problem for them is can they overcome the Las Vegas Aces? I got huge questions about that. The Aces have been so good for so long, but I'm just going down through here in real time and kind of looking at potential matchups here. So I like these sometimes a little better because if you get the matchup that you can hedge off. The Indiana Fever and the New York Liberty is 9.5-1 when you look at those. If you look at the Las Vegas Aces and the Phoenix Mercury, that is 33-1. If you like Paige Beckers against Caitlin Clark, 35-1, Indiana Fever and the Dallas Wings there. That might be something you put in your cap. I also would say take a look at an outside shot here. Liberty and Mystics. There is just, again, something to look at on kind of the outside one-off. Going back over to the NFL, we talk about Super Bowl odds. The Rams 7-1. I think you'll be able to get better value as the year goes on. The Seahawks 10-1. I'm out on the Seahawks. Too many changes. I think Kenneth Walker is going to be a bigger subtraction than you think. And then you got the Baltimore Ravens. They are 10-1. The Buffalo Bills 10-1. Patriots 16-1. I'm out on the Patriots. Obviously, so much they got going on in their shop. I like when I look at the Rams 7-1. Of course, I'm a homer when I say this, but the Bills 10-1. I think the Chargers 16-1 are very interesting. Denver's down there at 20-1, but I'm gonna tell you right now, the Denver Broncos, I'm not as high on them. I think they take a step back. When you look at division winners in the AFC, the Buffalo Bills are the favorite minus $1.30. I like that, but again, I think you'll be able to find better value. I think New England, the tougher schedule, I'm going to be really interested to see what the New England Patriots do with that tougher schedule here as things go on. The Jaguars 2-1 to win the South. Colts 3.5-1. I'm out on the Texans. I think the Texans were a one-trick pony. Their defense is great. I'm just not a believer in C.J. Stroud to get it done. Denver actually has the third best odds to win the division in the AFC West. The Chiefs are first, plus 170. Chargers plus $1.85. Broncos 2-1. Raiders 16-1. I would really look at that Chargers. I think the Chargers pose a lot of problems there. NFC North you don't want to get involved there. Just so much could happen with those teams. I just don't think you can even think about getting involved in that. When I look at regular season win totals in the NFL, here's something I want to touch on real quick is looking at the regular season win totals. Arizona Cardinals over under 4.5. Listen, I don't know how the Cardinals get the 5. I think you would be pretty safe. Kevin Stefanski taking over in Atlanta. They're 7.5 to 1. I like the over there for the Falcons. I got them slated about 8 and 9. Now, obviously, schedule going to come out Thursday, so we'll kind of see how that all kind of develops itself. Bills over 10.5. That's tricky. Again, I got to see the scheduling spot of it. Bears over 9.5. I like the over there. Bears looking at their schedule again. Got to see how it unfolds, but I like the Bears at like a 10-7 type of a record. When I look over at the Detroit Lions, they're setting at 10.5 again. I think that's a little dicey. I want to see how the schedule sets up. The Broncos 9.5. I like the under there, minus 110. But again, I kind of got to see what happens with them. Who do they play? When do they play them? Now, the Giants, a lot of people high on them. Total is 7.5, even money on the over. I think Harbaugh's going to make a huge difference, but I don't think this is a team that's going to compete for the division like I've heard some people on TV and radio and podcasts talk about. I do like the over 7.5, but again, you're talking about tying your money up for a really long time. I'm not really all about that. Washington, the Commanders over under 7.5. I actually like the under. This has been a trend with Dan Quinn. The longer he's around, he just keeps taking steps and steps back, and I think that holds true. But again, I want to talk about that parlay one more time. You can actually go 80 to 1, Knicks to win the East, Thunder to win the finals, Avalanche to win the Western Conference, the Tennessee Titans and the Cleveland Browns to miss the playoffs, Bears, Lions, Rams, Chiefs, Bills, all to make the playoffs. RJ Cash Cole, Break the Board Sports, giving you stats, trends, information to help you with your handicap. Whether you fade or follow, I hope you win your bets. God bless and happy handicapping.